Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to the iRacing IndyCar Open Series. I'm Austin. I am joined in the booth by Marco Barbanera. We're here at ISM Raceway for just an amazing race going to happen. I am just very excited. We finally got this broadcast off, and we're here on Fridays, and it's just going to be a great duel in the desert underneath the lights.
It is going to be, Austin. I'm so excited as well, being, of course, this being my favorite car in the service, and always having wanted to do something like this. And finally we are here, and we thank all the drivers who came in and joined this on very late notice, because the broadcast was made public basically on yesterday. So we have 16 drivers tonight. We hope to have even more in the coming weeks, of course, if you're watching, and we know that there's viewers watching us, so thank you very much for sticking with us. And yeah, promote the broadcast, share it, because it's not always that oval racing gets love, especially in this time zone, of course, which is very good for us in Europe, and a little bit early for you guys in the US, but this has been for many years the premier SOF race, together with the very first one at basically midnight GMT of the first, basically the first race of the week. But this has been the one, the more, let's say, prestigious, important one. We are here in the Open Series, so the drivers will have to deal with both road courses and oval courses. Tonight we are, of course, in a very unique racetrack, Austin, and can you describe it to us as the cars are getting ready to take their pace lap?
ISM is, well, I don't want to really call it a trival because it's not really an oval. It's more of a lopsided egg with a side cut off of it, with the open dogleg configuration of this thing, which is basically there's cones on the inside. As we're taking a look at our starting grid, Andreas L takes pole position with a 18.9, the only driver in that time from Scandinavia. He's followed by Usain Walsh in second place. John Downing takes third place, our first American in second row. Rafael Kesta and Thais Toledo, both from Brazil, making it very nice. Look at, there's Gerhardt in sixth place, followed by Dwayne Melknitz, Luka Lajevic, Pierre Borden from Canada, David Finelli from Australia.
Wow.
Hopping in. We're covering all corners of the globe. Where's China? Eric Berger starting in 11th. Ian White in 12th place. They're followed up by Frederick Campbell, Nick Atornia, John Snow, and Cody Meadows. Finds up at the end of the grid. That the last four did not set a time, but it's going to be a very great race today. We're on this short track aero configuration, so we're going to have all the downforce to play with, and it's going to be all about tires as everyone's lining up and getting ready. Now, since it's a more interesting course, it's going to be kind of a short track and drafting at the same place, and it's going to be restarts and refueling. Entire strategy is going to be deciding this race for 170 laps here at ISM Speedway.
And of course, Austin, we can say that pitting here under green flag will cause you to go down 2, maybe 3 laps, no? So, getting a caution at the wrong time can really destroy, or at the same time, really help your race, as the drivers are rolling, and we are just about ready to start.
Yeah, we have fans in the chat for Aquesta and Toledo, both of them from Brazil. They have, Celso Pedri in chat. Howdy, Celso. How you doing? Hope you are enjoying the race. As, well, you're here at the start of the race, and we're about to get ready to go green, as the pace car is leading everyone around.
And I am so excited, Austin. We are just about ready to go. Pace car is in.
As the pace car is coming off, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to be heading green to start off the NTT Indycar Open Series here at ISM Raceway. Elk leads out Walsh, Akessa, and Downing going side by side already as they head into the open open dogleg go underneath the track below that yellow line. But Akesta and Downing, these two are going at it as well as Walsh and Eek.
Yeah, we were expecting a fight at the top between these two guys. That's what we are having, of course, with certainly two drivers in Eek and Walsh that have been... oh, and look at that, Walsh, a driver from the Republic of Ireland, by the way, going a little bit sideways as we get the first lap in the books as the timing tower is having a fit, and now it's back working.
Yeah, ISM is a very weird track, and I think that's messing with our timing tower just a tad bit. Don't think that'll be happening every lap. If it starts doing, we'll turn that off, but I believe it's just for that one incident. But the field kind of starting to spread out, but not for David Fairley. And Campbell almost touched the wall.
He clipped the wall, yeah.
Yeah, he did. You can see a bit mark on his wall. On his car. I don't see any damage. Yeah, he does have damage on his front right. He's getting a lot of understeer in this corner. Oh, this has got to be very frisky. Expect Fairley might be trying to make a move up to him onto the inside. There's smoke up ahead. A little bit too hard on the brakes by White.
As we have here the three-wide situation between White, Fairley and Autorina is back at the front of the pack. There's some more battling here as Scotty Meadows, Campbell once again side by side as they head into turn 4. Another lap is in the books. Great fight here in the mid-pack, Austin.
Mid-pack, always in IndyCar, always just a great thing to watch. So we're seeing 3 wide right now. Otornia defending for his life to keep that 11th spot.
So it's going to be 170 laps. We already have 7 in the books. Laps are going to go by very quickly. This is one of those racetracks, Austin, where also the cautions are not very long because it is considered just as a normal track, not a short track. So there's not many caution laps when we have a crash. And that you can see because at the start, instead of doing the 2 pace laps traditional of the short tracks on iRacing, we only do basically 1. So it's considered a long track by safety standards, so to speak, in iRacing, but it's a very, very short one and a unique one at that. As you can see, the drivers are going through the dogleg once again with Walsh and Eek pulling away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, riding on board with Ocean Walsh. He's chasing down Andreas Eek as they head into the dogleg. We see the lap traffic of Berger and Campbell just ahead of them. And I believe there are a lot of people cheering for these two to be big head runners of this season right now. Also, we have a few people cheering for John Downing in his quest for 3rd place, but first lapping of Campbell takes place. They both go down to the inside. Now, Phoenix is very, very crazy battling here. You're not going to see a lot of side-by-side because the lines that you have to take here are so different than anyone else's, as Campbell is the first one into the pits. Also, tires, expect them to start going away around lap 25.
We have in the chat a driver who has been and still is at the forefront of this competition. We hope to have him next week. Of course, I'm talking about Marco Aurelio Brazil. Obrigado, Marco. Hopefully he will be with us next week. A fantastic driver, as this fight at the front is really, really heating up.
Yeah, Walsh is closing down on Elk. He's favoring that upper line, and he might be favoring that inside line on the exit. He's going to have a lot of speed. He might have a move for P1, but I think he's just left it off right there to keep Elk, the pressure on Elk, and try to scare him as he's leading onto these lap cars, which might be a big play right now. But this is certainly a great fight for the lead in this opening stint.
Have we talked about the yellow lines? I don't think so. They are deadly. Don't touch them, because you can really, really end your race prematurely as they are slicing and dicing through the lapped traffic.
Yeah, Berger getting lapped right there by Elkin Walsh, heading into the dogleg. A little bit of squirrely heading out of that little kink. And it looks like Aquesta is actually closing down on these guys, so we might have a 3-way fight for the lead very soon.
There we bring up the battle box.
I said we should bring up the battle box.
There we go. I thought it was going to be worse, but you know, being on an oval, and of course, being unprofessional, I haven't taken time to, you know, set it up correctly for the ovals, but it's still working.
Here comes
Walsh.
Walsh. He's got his nose in there. They're going side by side, and Walsh up onto the inside. He's going to swing into the lead of this race here at ISM Raceway. He's looking for the outside line going across these laps cars. This might be a bit tricky. He's swinging onto the inside now, and along this long turn, this might compromise his exit, but I think he's got it, and he might be pulling away from Egg now.
Absolutely fantastic stuff.
What a good overtake by Walsh and a great lap 17.
Just clipping that yellow line just slightly. He managed to tell the tale. Of course, we can see the relatively new AFP, which is going to be temporary, of course, on these cars, because next season we are going to have the full-blown aero screen, which I think, you know, judging by how quick iRacing have been lately in updating these cars, I think will be very, very soon on our you know, simulators next.
It's gonna get more. I can tell you, it's gonna get more people interested in these cars, because I know the shark fin was very controversial. Not a lot of people are a fan of it, and it's just like the Halo. You can't really see around it unless you move your camera just a little bit higher. But with the aero screen, it's gonna be pretty cool. But still has a bar up in the middle. But heck, what can you do? A little bit of smoke ahead. I believe that was by Meadows.
So running this Team Penske retro livery, which is very, very cool. As all of a sudden, Walsh,
that's a Fortnite livery.
Yeah, it's a Fortnite livery exactly, and he has pulled a 2-second gap over Andrea Seik in second place, and there's a caution.
Yellow flag. Oh, hard in the wall. That's Farley. Let's get that replay up of what's caused that out. But this is our first caution of the night. Farley, car up onto the inside. And,
Australian connection. Yeah, that's being Australian on the oval. Sadly, that's what. And there's a car behind. I don't know if it. Maybe it was
I don't think he hit him.
Maybe it was Eric Berger. Yes, let's see.
And
from Indiana.
Speedworks, I want to say something. Speedworks iRacing team. Oh, he hit the wall. That's unfortunate. For that was Eric Berger who tapped the ball.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've kind of jinxed everybody. No cautions. Yeah. Impressive. Caution.
That's us.
Speedworks.
Usually that is us, no? You know.
Yeah, usually that's us commentating cursing everybody, but no, that's our first chat. Impressive. So, is pit lane open right now? Is Walsh going to lead everyone to the pit lane? Yes, he is. He's followed as well as... Oh, Ike's staying out.
Ooh.
It says he's in the pit lane for us, but I just saw him actually... yeah, he is in. That's the laps car. I've gone crazy.
It's excitement. It's the excitement of having, you know... I know that we have, for a fact, you know... a feature on our software to show the lapped cars on the overlay, but I cannot find it for the life of me. That will be, of course, easier to follow who's on the lead lap and who is not.
And leading out of the pit lane, it's gonna be Walsh, Elk, and Aquesta leading everyone out. Don't think we've had any jumping in the pit lane. Aquesta and Downing might have been close to each other, but let's take a look at the biggest movers of this race so far, and that's Atornia and Meadows up 4 spots, but they're in that lapped field, and I believe they're at the start of going into the pit lane, so yeah, that's not happening right now.
Let's go and watch again what happened in that track, so we can have a better idea of maybe from the chopper this time, and see how big of a you know, lag contact that was. Look at that. That's very unfortunate.
Yeah, that was real racing incident. No one really could say what really happened. Car up onto the inside, wasn't sticking to the apex. Car up onto the outside, just staying right there. We're trying to get the replay going up right now.
Who the other driver was, because maybe it was not
Eric Berger
Show.
was the one that was behind it. Yeah, if you go into a little bit of slow motion right there, Berger sees what's happening. And as they head into that turn, just a little bit too far in there for Fairley, and he hits the wall hard. And that was a spectacular crash. Luckily, he can get his car into the pit lane and get that faster pair in there.
As we are waiting, I think, for the wave around.
Yep, there it goes.
Ian White. No, who's getting the wave around?
That would be Campbell.
Campbell, yes, with and of course, being that he's taking the wave around, he still has that damage to his front wing. So that will be, hopefully, he will be hoping for a quick caution when we go back to green. But we are just about ready to go, and I'm seeing that Ian White is this another Fortnite livery, or is it just very similar?
No, it is. Yes, it is exactly the same. So, they're teammates in quotes.
Ready to go racing then for the first restart of the night.
They're all lining up. When is Oisin Walsh prepared to hit the loud pedal? Here we go. We're going back green racing here at ISM Raceway. 28 laps of 170 in the pocket. And look at the backfield. There are packs of 3 held up. It wasn't a great restart for the guys in the backfield. Also, look at Elk and Aquesta. Aquesta down onto the inside. They're going side by side into the long left-hander. But Elk had the exit and the foot down more. Aquesta took that one just a little bit too liberally as smoke for the back end of Walsh as he throws his car and forces it down into turn 1.
Yeah, Eik almost caught unawares there at the restart by the Brazilian driver, as we are seeing, of course, as per usual. Of course, let's really be thankful to Thales Toledo, because he went through the pain of putting his team name into the overlay, so we attack sim experience. Someone is honking his horn here in the parking lot, and I profusely apologize for that.
I didn't even know there was a car honking in the parking lot. But we got a battle for 8th place. Lejevic and Borden. Lejevic up onto the inside. They're going side by side into this tight turn 1. And he's going to snipe that position very easily. A little bit of understeer on the exit. That's what happened when he carried a lot of speed. Also, look at the battle up ahead for Mendelquist and Gerhardt. Gerhardt holding down that inside line, which I don't think is the fastest line. Because on the exit, the outside line, on the switchback, the number 11 of Toledo. That's Toledo trying to make the move, but unfortunately can't get past that Starbucks car of Gerhardt.
I've been told in the chat that Aquesta is the protege of Marco Aurelio Brasil, and if he's anything like his mentor, he will be a very good driver. As some more smoke, I think that it's the Irish connection from Dave Walsh, who I know personally, so it's a joke between friends, this one. I love Ireland, but sometimes this connection, it plays some tricks on him.
Well, it's certainly not hurting him right now, as he's got a 1.5 second lead to Elk in 2nd place. So he's currently in all that clean air, as he's not coming up into any lapped cars yet. It's a battle for 2nd between Elk, Aquesta, and Downing. It's really the battle for 3rd place. Downing, though, has some fans in chat. The American driver trying to put the USA down onto the fields. We got a battle between Toledo and Gerhardt. These two still going at it. Toledo holding down the inside line, and he's going to have the exit of all exits, and Toledo takes 6th place.
Great move from the Brazilian driver there, and he moves up into the 6th spot, just as you were saying. as Dave Walsh is about to get into some lap traffic already, and I think that will be Frederick Campbell and his damaged car.
Yeah, Campbell has that front wing damage, and he's been struggling all race. I think he's just happy to be here. He does have 2,000 I rating, so Campbell is very experienced, but I think he was just happy to be on the broadcast and just trying to get through there. But both the leaders getting their way into the lap traffic now. It's just one car currently, but we'll see what happens later on.
So I already make a promise for next week. We will have miles per hour in the speedometer.
Maybe a European dominated series today, but it's going to be a very fun.
Know, KPH on ovals always sounded wrong to me. You know, it's not right.
It ain't right. That's a road course thing, which it will be a road course next week.
And the next week, and the week after, sorry. So I think we have 2 of them back-to-back coming up. So enjoy your oval racing, which is, of course, all... You know, this series is what I love is because, of course, you have to test yourself in a wide variety of tracks. By the way, Toledo is now putting some pressure on Pavel Melnarovic. So could be another position.
The Brazilian missile looking for his 5th spot. Toledo just looking at Melgarwitz in any way, trying to spot any weakness, but he's got to think about this move because Melgarwitz, he has great pace, and also we have that lap car just a bit ahead as we see Toledo just struggling with that throttle, trying to keep that car pointed directly where he wants.
See the gears, which are always interesting, especially as you go deeper into the run, and of course suffering from the aero push of a couple of cars. There's a big mistake there.
Got a mistake. Here comes Toledo, down up onto the inside. He gets 1 and he gets 2. They go 3 wide through the dog lane. Melgarwitz doesn't have any speed as the Brazilian missile takes 5th place.
And he is on a roll and getting back to the 5th position where he started this race. So good comeback now, and Toledo certainly showing some great racecraft in there. As of course now we move back to Lukas Lekjevich. He's about to put on a move on Laura Gerhardt as well, as they are once again contending with that lapped traffic.
Yeah, he's going to try to go for an outside move. We haven't seen this one. I think it's really bit him very hard where it hurts. But that Starbucks car gives a very bad exit. Gerhardt is a dead fish in the water, but that lap car might be causing a little bit of trouble. They're going to try to go too wide through the very long and wide final turn, and Ledgevitz gets 7th place. And I think Gerhardt might be suffering from a little bit of tire wear right now.
Either that or some damage on the car, but I don't remember that car being involved in anything.
No, that's tire wear. That's all tire wear right there. We started at lap 28 and it's 47, so that's about 20 laps now. And he's been working those tires so hard that I think those are just dead. He has no grip.
She has no grip.
Oh.
Laura, which is, I think, a female name.
How did I not know that?
Yeah, always nice to have some ladies in the competition, and of course it is very welcome to have. Of course, Laura Gerhardt has been racing in this series for years, as far as I can remember, racing in the IndyCar series in a racing personally since at least I think 2015. So certainly very a veteran presence in the field, and now she is up to 8. As White is into the pits, almost collecting one of those barrels there, which is never a good idea. As Ake, by the way, is closing in little by little on Walsh.
Yeah, he's managing his tires much better than Walsh. Walsh was a little bit more rougher, as we saw a lot of smoke on that restart from his car. Now, this might go into green flag pit stops because I don't think we're going to have any yellow flag. Tempting fate here. But Walsh is closing in on some lap traffic.
Ian White is having a very, very long stop. I'm afraid they must have maybe made a mistake somewhere. Sadly, the event viewer says nothing about it.
He might tap the wall, might just be fixing some damage, or might be, yeah, he's probably just fixing some damage, or the pit stops here take forever. But he's back out on track in that Fortnite car to help his teammate Walsh to a victory.
Just
May
in
not
front
be
of the
teammates, but in
leaders.
the same livery. And I believe Walsh up onto the inside. I thought that was the pit commitment code, but no, those are just the dog leg cones.
So I think we can expect some pit stops very, 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 very soon. And just as we are there, let's see the latest pit lap. Lap 24 for almost all of the field, and apart, of course, from White.
48 for White. White
Yeah,
is he's crazy.
But you know,
Yeah,
he took a very, very long. You know, it's let's see how it works, and the pit time, of course. You can see.
Yeah, we're averaging about 42 seconds for pit lane time from arrival to exit. That was under yellow flag, but all these guys averaging about 8.7, 42 seconds in total for Walsh, which is insanely fast.
As now we have Mel Narovic here in 7th place with Lekcevic closing in on him.
Yeah, the battle for 6th place heating up with this cat-sponsored livery. Sitting in that draft, you can see that understeer getting to him. He's not fighting that wheel at all. He's just babying this car around corners, just trying to keep the car going straight as it looks like Elk, Aquarius, and Downing are in one massive package. They're trying to get past White and all these lats cars, and we just saw, no, that's Campbell ahead of him. Campbell, he had just that pit stop, so he's going to have all that grip, so this might be very, very tricky for Elk to get around. But that is great news if you're Austin Walsh, who's running away from this field as they're struggling with these back markers.
Yeah, absolutely. As you can see, Aquesta suffering from a bit of understeer there, of course, deep in the run, a lot of aero push.
Here comes
And
Downing.
here comes Downing, yeah, for Sadie, another historic team in the competition. And you can see that he's trying to get past that lapped car.
Downing in that black color-coded car, just sitting underneath that lats car as he's trying to go ahead. As we have a question about what the stripes mean. Well, that's their iRacing colors. The color of their car in iRacing.
Yeah,
So-
of the default paint, so it might
Yeah,
not...
we're using traded paints here, so some cars might not follow that code. But thankfully, most of them do.
You know, but, you know, if you want...
We could turn
can
it
change
off,
them.
but no.
Well, I like them, so...
I like them, it's pretty. We're just kind of taking a lull right now, but Downing, he is in the hunt. And now we're here for strategy between Walsh, Elk, and everybody. But I really want to talk about the performance Walsh just has. He has a 5-second gap to Elk behind him.
And there it is, the Irish driver, as you can see, enjoying a nice run so far. As Aquesta, here he comes.
Aquesta challenging Egg for P2, the #1 IR person in this lobby at 4,421. I don't know what I just tried to say right there. Holding off Aquesta in very low grip scenarios. Also, we have a big battle for P6. Oh, car going slowly on the front straight. Car going slowly on the front straight. Well, they were on the front straight. I think they just tabbed out right there.
Oh, I think a crash between Bourdon and Berger, possibly. Or maybe unrelated crash. Let's see. Because they both jumped to the pits. Okay, this is Pierre Bourdon, the Canadian driver. Berger is in the wall. And there it is.
Big hit.
Oh!
How did that not bring out a yellow?
Because I think they were the last two cars in the, or there was no one behind. So this is Berger. He is going to hit the wall coming out of 4.
Oh, that's a big hit right there.
Poor Bourdon, nowhere to go.
Passer by, and he gets punted over the pit wall. Well, the racing still continues here. We almost had our second yellow of the night. If I was race directing this, I would probably throw out the yellow for that.
I spent the day marshalling, so I would have thrown the caution as well.
Yeah, but look at that battle for third place right behind him. Downing trying for that outside line, coming out of the final corner, going to this very tight left-hander. Now that line changes throughout the race. Sometimes on lower grip, the outside line will be better. Downing, knowing that, he's going to be looking around Aquesta, is going to go try for the switchback. Look out for Downing. The American going down the inside, and John Downing takes P3. And they're side by side going to turn 1, and John Downing takes P3.
Beautiful stuff from Downing, and he gets up into 3rd. So now he is back in the position he started. So the number 1 car is in 2nd. The number 2 car is in 1st. Number 3 is in 3rd. Number 5 is in 4th. Ooh.
Good result right there. Is that a
lapped car? Yeah, that is always Frederick Campbell.
Line by him.
And I think he still is dealing with that big damage, and not only that, his tires, because he stopped on lap 10, must be basically made of chewing gum.
Yeah, chewing gum, and that has been left outside. It's just tape. Thank you, Nicholas, for that very, very positive comment, as we just saw Mel Garwitz almost chop the front wing of Ledrovitz for P6. Great midfield battle as the leader is closing in on these two guys. So we're having a fight between guys in 6th and 7th place as here comes Walsh up to them. And this might be very crazy. But Downey is on a charge on these worn tires as we are in lap 73 of 170, 100 laps away from the finish, and it doesn't feel like we've been sitting here for 73 laps.
No, only 30 minutes elapsed, so apart from that caution, it has been a very, very quick race, just like we were expecting. Laps go by in a hurry, as we were talking earlier, but Downing really finding some extra life in those tires, and certainly, you have these drivers who, the deeper you go in the run and the better their performance is, because they are more gentle on the tires, they know how to extend their life, and Downing is really profiting from this, and he doesn't want a caution, unless maybe yes, but first I think he wants to get past Andrea Seik, and then maybe a caution to bunch things up and have fresh rubber and fuel for the end of the race.
They're hitting 25 laps now on these tires, which is when the fall-off point usually is for these guys. But this is where IndyCar is a strategy game more than a racing series. I like to say, as Mel Jarkwitz dives into the pit lane, and he's going to be making a green flag stop. This might be the ace in the hole if a yellow flag comes out right now for Mel Jarkwitz.
Let's see if it's a regular stop or not. As he is entering pit lane, we will switch very quickly to this fight here. You can follow the pit stop on the bottom of your screen, because Downing is really trying hard on the inside.
Yeah, he's forcing his tires to their absolute limit right now. Elk looking at the back end of Downing. A little bit of smoke from Downing. He's struggling with grip going to that very first turn 1. Now, you can get there without braking, but you do have to force the tires just a little bit. And that might have been a front wheel lockup for Downing right there.
As in the meantime, Campbell finally says, I need to stop, because these laps are, basically almost 70 laps old. And he goes in. It's a regular stop, by the way, for Melnarovic. And he is out in 8 seconds.
Downing's not slow. Downing slowed up. Downing is slowed up. Oh.
Fitting, so is Lekchevich, and I'm expecting other stops to come very, very soon.
Walsh might be going for one more lap to get the guys just a bit lapped down behind him. Yes, he is. But the green flag stops have arrived. Elk staying out, trying to get past Gerhardt. But Aquesta heading into the pit lane.
Toledo is staying out, and we have Downing and Lekchevich in. Here comes Melnarovic, of course, the earliest stopper. And
yeah, don't go for that undercut.
Careful with the cautions there, because pit entry is very tricky. Oh, mamma mia, that was too close for comfort. As here comes Toledo in, and Walsh and Hake are continuing. At least Walsh is doing so, and Hake as well. So where is Downing? He's in sixth, of course, with cars having to stop in front of him. Good stop from Melnarovic, because now he's just behind Downing, more or less just behind, but he could really gain some places by undercutting a good portion of the field.
Yeah, he's got a good portion chopped out for him now. I'm very surprised that Walsh has not gone into the pits yet. Same for Elk.
Toledo gets jumped by Downing. Here comes Melnarovic. He should stay in front of the number 7 car. Let's now focus on the top 2 drivers and see what they do. Another driver who has to stop is Laura Gerhardt in third, and another driver is Jochen Sko, but he is pitting right now. So apart from these 3 guys, everyone else is pitted. Walsh going on, Ake going on. By the way, the entirety of the field has been lapped at this very moment, apart from the top 2 guys. So, you know, it's
2 cars on the lead lap. Dominated performance by OC and Walsh, I must say, but that's because they stayed out.
Now Downing trying to close in on Aquesta. This is virtually a fight for 3rd place. So, did everyone get it right and Walsh and Ake get it wrong, or is it the opposite? Because this is going to pose some very interesting questions as we go through. Let's bring out the slide out lap time so we can see how fast or slow they are going compared to each other. So Ake 20.6. Let's see Aquesta and Downing, because they have fresh tires, even though they are fighting with each other. Wow, 20.
They're 4/10 faster than the leader, so they are gaining on them. They do have the tire grip, but how much are they pushing these tires? And this is what happens in IndyCar when you have a 1 caution down with 90 laps going on. It becomes a strategy game, and when you pay is how fast you go. So we have different fuel level strategies, different tire level strategies, as Downing at Aquesta. Downing around the outside. He's going to push these tires to the limit. Holding it down. Almost a little bit of contact and a little bit of run from Aquesta getting into the backside of Downing, but Downing's going to carry it on. But he's leaving that inside ribbon. Here comes Aquesta back on the charge into the dog leg.
Thank you, Chelsea, for subscribing to Apex Felicity.
This might be a little bit tricky. 3 wide into the very final corner. Aquesta had to let off a lot, and now, no, Aquesta on the inside. He kept his foot planted. Here comes Downing. Downing gets to the side of Aquesta, and Aquesta hits the wall hard. And he hits the car. Yellow flag is out, and that's saving. Andreas Elk was in the pit lane.
Oh, did he get to the? Let's see when the.
He was in there before it.
Let's see.
He was in the pit lane right when it came out. Elk timed that so well. He was committed already to the pit lane. Does the yellow lights come on? Caution happened right about now. Yeah, you can see the car hit the wall right there. So
and the flagman waving. Wow.
That was timed to perfection by Elk. And that is disastrous if you are Walsh, because your rival basically just got a free pit stop and is now going to be leading the race because Walsh has not gone into the pit. This is disaster if you are Let's take a look once again at this fight between Downey and Aquesta. Aquesta around the outside, Downey up, down the inside. There is no room for him down there, and then he just gets tapped by,
Is that the race leader?
I think that might have been Walsh who hit him. Let's take another look at that, because we see his teammate down there. That was Walsh. Walsh has damage. See the car going up into... No, that was his teammate. Okay.
Wow, he came very, very close. But let's watch again this fight from the very beginning, because this was a proper battle.
Proper battle between Downey and Aquesta. Aquesta up ahead. Downey had the run on him. He held that outside line, which gave him the speed boost. And Aquesta... Oh! No tires. Just understeering almost into the back end of Downey. Downey still thinking that he's there, not holding on to the apex. And here comes Aquesta charging up as that slapped car is pretty much causing them a lot of problems in this corner. Downing lifted off to stay out of, I believe that is Camo. And here comes Downing charging up onto the inside. Aquesta didn't know that he was down there and just drove onto him, and that is a messed up IndyCar.
Okay, so big deep breath and let's try to understand what happened, because now we should have Walsh behind a bunch of cars who are probably going to take the wave around, but they won't, because Andreas Ake is in front of everyone.
Yeah, Ake is leading out the field. Our timing screen is going to finally figure out what's happening very soon on this restart.
Well, no, Ake is going to get the wave around, of course. Ake is getting the wave around, I think. And... yeah, yes. Yes, he's taking the wave around, of course. We'll figure it out, we promise you. But and in the meantime, enjoy the beautiful scenery here, as the, you know, we started with the overcast sky, so it was already pretty dark, unfortunately. But now it's properly nighttime. Downing is in third. The field is very messed up, and of course, since we are not in the final 10 laps, you know, unless we get wave arounds and we have, you know, pit stop, etc., the field
have cars everywhere.
Yeah,
there's a wave around for Walsh.
And no, it's Ake. Ake getting the wave around. Okay, so
I see second place getting the wave around, and I know Walsh was not just had to take his pit stop, but Ake, who was in the pits at that time, might have been a lap down when Walsh came around. So that's what's happened. But Ake on fresh tires, as well as Walsh, as everyone's returning to their correct position. And this is totally not giving me a little headache right now.
So, behind the pace car, we have Walsh, and then we have...
Gearhart's back there.
Yeah. Despite being one lap down.
I think she knows what she's doing.
No. Despite no. I mean, it's chaos. But we are ready to go racing. And
this is one spread out field because Walsh and the rest of the field are already at the front of the line. Look at the mini map as we're going back to racing. This is going to be a very chaotic restart.
Also chaotic for the cameras as well, trying to figure out where each car is. And you can see, yes, we have 3 cars on the lead lap.
Downing getting the lap back. Unfortunately, he was involved in that crash, but I believe no, he didn't. He did. Yeah, he didn't go into the pit lane during the yellow flag.
He stopped on lap 79 last time, so.
Yes. And this crazy restart, 2 wide racing between Miguelitz, Toledo, and Lejevitz, as they have a few lap cars to be handling off as the battle for 5th place is going crazy.
As that, I would suppose, in front of Toledo is a lapped car. So he goes past. Here come Melnarovic and Lekjevic, of course, having to deal with their with other lap cars as well. Andreas Ake is now still in second, but between himself and the leader there is Laura Gerhardt, who is of course now in on the fresh tires, and the first car, sorry, one lap down. So if she can get past Walsh, she could get a lap back and be once again in contention for the race win.
Yeah, she's looking for that lucky dog position as Migawitz is trying to chase down the Brazilian missile himself of Thales Toledo.
Very, very disappointed for Aquesta, because he was certainly one of the main protagonists of this race, and could have had a say, I think, in the final battle for at least the podium, top 5. And no, I know you don't have podiums for but you know, unfortunately, that is not going to happen. I think you are right in the sense that he was a little bit too optimistic in closing there on the inside, knowing that there was a car, you know, with below him, as that is John Downing, who is now getting past some of his opponents, and in third place. He's having to, you know, deal with some lapped cars as well, as Andreas Eik is trying to put the move on Gerhardt. There he goes, and he's now up in second.
Him room.
And now there's no one between Walsh and Eik, but of course, you know, there are 3 seconds almost.
Yep, 3 seconds separate these two, and a lot of rubber on track as we have 84 laps to go here. Wait, no, that's not even that's not even possible. 64 laps to go here at ISM Raceway. That's a meme gonna happen.
Sko getting past Meadows for 9th place, and now of course we keep an eye on the times and see that Eik is marginally faster than Walsh, but clearly not nearly enough to get past or closer to him. They are the only 2 drivers lapping in the 19s at this point of the race. Let's see now Downing with a bit of clean air in front of him, if he can you know, match that pace. No, he's still a bit slower than the top 2 guys. But yeah, I mean, for our
Boston
first
in traffic right now as well.
Yeah. There we go, the other Fortnite car, and then he has in front of him Frederick Campbell, Cody Meadows, and Jochen Sko to go past, and of course behind him you know, Eik will have to go through the same. You know, for the first week of the season that we are broadcasting, I have to say these drivers are really putting on a show and giving us an entertaining race. And in the chat already, other drivers are saying, you know, I will be back next for the next oval as a driver. So, I mean, certainly the more the merrier. Thank you for watching the broadcast, and help us spread the word, because this is a series that we love. There, like I said, not too many ovals broadcast races, especially in this time of the day. A little bit better for Europeans, you know, arguably a bit early for. Yeah, exactly. It's the best compromise that we could get, more or less, for everyone.
Unfortunately, the Western Coast Americans who work at this time, they can't get in Central times like where I'm in. It's midday for us, so we try to get the best compromise for people. That's why we had it on a Saturday originally, but this time slot was already taken up by a different broadcast for us, so we set up for a later time. But I say this is the perfect time slot for everybody because it gets every part of the world. We have Australians in here, we have Europeans, we have Americans, we have South Americans, so it's
absolutely
truly a global field.
And that is why this has been, of course, for many years the preferred you know, spot for the SOF race. Again, in tandem with the you know, first race of the week, of course. That is also a very popular strength of field race, especially for people that.
Oh, look at this pack right here.
Wow.
Toledo almost got into the back of the car ahead of him, and now we got a 3-wide fight going in there. But look at Downing just clearing Toledo. It's blue flag mayhem right now because Gearhart's also up ahead of Toledo. The Brazilian missile fighting with Downing, trying to get all the way to Gearhart, who is ahead of this field. And Downing's just clearing everybody because he's in the 3rd place car, but the battle for 4th place is also happening in this group. And I thought we were going to see a collision right there, but it ain't happening.
You know, it's like you say in the US, I think, slicing and dicing. That's what Downing is doing throughout the field.
Exactly. He is slicing and dicing his way through this field right now. And all this lap traffic, that's great news if you're Elk and Walsh, because they went through there, but it wasn't as chaotic as it was for them as Downing is getting past Toledo. And now, no, Downing's got past Gearhart. And now Toledo is closing in on Gearhart now.
Yes, he is.
For the battle for 4th. The Brazilian missile trying to close in on Laura. And you hear him undulating that throttle because he has a car on his outside, and it's still on his outside. They're too wide through this corner.
That is, of course, Campbell, who now has very fresh tires, and I think he finally repaired his front wing. I don't know if he has also the dreaded side pod damage that can really mess up your race, and there is no way of fixing that so
he
far.
Might have floor damage.
Yeah. So Downing quicker than the guys at the front by half a second in this lap.
Yeah, you see him slamming his car down underneath the yellow line. He said that wasn't very preferred. It's not preferred by me because you get floor damage that way, and it's just very tricky, especially if you have worn tires. But Toledo is closing in on Gearhart, and as I said, that he's actually losing away on that exit of a turn. Phoenix is very, it's very rhythmic, I must say.
Yeah, absolutely. You need to get in a groove, and it's very tough when you are in the dirty air of someone, and you have to, change your approach, and of course having to contend with all the dirty air being thrown at you and giving you massive understeer. As we thank KM on PC for subscribing to our YouTube channel. Welcome on board as well. Hopefully you are enjoying the show here from ISM Speedway. Of course, this is an open setup series, so these drivers can approach different solutions to their race.
Hashtag better than fix.
As Ian White is proceeding very slowly.
Oh! He stopped in the middle of the track. Get down low, buddy. Get down low. We are...
Caution!
Yellow
Caution is
being
out.
Flown for the 3rd time today on lap 125 out of 170. I believe we're going to have a sprint to the finish.
Yes, and 3 drivers on the lead lap then. Hake, of course, with Downing, and the leader, Dave Walsh. So these 3 guys, Downing was having a fantastic pace in these last couple of laps, really welcoming this caution, I think, as it will more than likely also clear a lot of the lappers, who I think they will take their stop. And let's see who takes the wave around if we have one. But let's also get a replay of a very long crash, which I think started here with the yellow line. Maybe no.
Understeer, hard into the wall, hard into the other wall, loses all of his wing, and suspension damage. He's stuck in the middle of the track.
Man, these marshals are taking their sweet time to get cautions out tonight, because look at that car.
That car is crabbing in the middle of the track, and he finally got it low, but I think this is when the caution came out.
Yeah.
There's this... I think they might have been having a beer, maybe a bit of popcorn. It was so long between cautions, and now Walsh, Elk, Downing, and White are in the pit lane. But the top 3 in the pit lane now, this is where tragic could happen.
There's some lappers getting in despite getting a penalty for that.
Yeah, they'll get a penalty, but I don't think they care. And oh,
So
I
Walsh.
think Elk. No, Walsh gets out there first of all by Elk and Downing. That was a little bit misleading by the qualifying pace and the qualifying position. I thought Elk just got the jump on Walsh, and then I realized what was happening.
Let's go upstairs from the aerial coverage, which is brought to you by
Apex Racing TV.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to say Smithfield Foods, but they don't sponsor us, unfortunately. Just like NASCAR on NBC. So yeah, it's brought by ourselves.
It's brought by us. If you want to bring us aerial coverage, message us or something.
Yeah, this is the Apex Racing TV blimp so far. If you want to have your blimp, just message us.
It's been a great opening round broadcast for us. I'm saying opening round because it's our first broadcast. We were ready to go for Texas and WeatherTech, but we've had people showing up incidents, and that just didn't happen.
But man, it was worth the wait. I think we are having a very, very chaotic and entertaining round, and these drivers, like I said, are really putting on a show. There's a guy in front of the leaders, and that is Frederick Campbell taking another stop. Maybe we can have a close-up look at his right car. Yeah, look at the damage on the floor that he has sustained in that collision earlier in the race. So unfortunately for him, despite he has a very, very cool looking paint, by the way, but a little bit
damaged.
Nice
black to green gradient right there, and I have to applaud him on that. That's a nice paint scheme. It's very simplistic, but it's actually very complex at the exact same time. But yeah, here we are at ISM Raceway. Next week is Sonoma, and we will be broadcasting at the same time, at the same place, but a little bit over in wine country of Sonoma, California. What do you think that race is going to bring us?
Tough track. It's going to be very, very, very chaotic and tricky for the drivers. Grip will be at a premium.
And speaking of grip at a premium, with 50 laps to go, the green flag is back out, and we're back racing.
So, 50 laps left, Austin. Will we go caution-free until the end?
Message from Andy, don't drink and drive. Look at Laura going up onto the inside, side by side. They're still racing side by side, and around the outside line, forcing their tires. Look at this midfield, just absolutely dicing with each other. That's Legevitz on the inside of Gerhardt. Legevitz going down to the inside. Gerhardt almost chops the nose off him. She ain't having any of that. Laura Gerhardt holding her own right now for 6th place. So you have a lapped car.
I'm surprised we haven't seen some cone killing tonight.
Yeah,
I know you get a slowdown if you take them down, so.
I believe so. Hashtag Cones Life Matters. We've certainly seen them in the MX-5 Pro Series and Amateur Series.
So let's see now. Toning is yeah, Walsh, as per usual, is very, very quick coming out of the of the green flag, and then as the more the run goes on and the more Downing keeps having more and more speed, AK is in a sort of a middle position there, and is I was expecting a bit more from AK tonight, I have to say, but Walsh seems to have a completely different pace. Especially the very beginning of the run, and that is what makes the difference. And as I say that, they are both 0.2 of a second faster than Walsh in this lap. So let's see what happens. Because usually I'm very wrong.
There might be some tire saving going on with Ake, depending on it, because we do have 50 laps remaining. He's going to try to make it to the very end on this tank of fuel, I guess, going at this pace. because Walsh and Downing are closing in all over him. And that battle for second is going to be very entertaining to watch by Downing.
Gerhard trying to close in on Melnarovic. This is the closest fight on the field right now. And I think very, very soon also Ake and Downing will start, like we said, very quick laps. So yes, you have 40 laps left, but in matter of fact, we have 30 laps. Yes, 30 laps left, which seems like a lot, but I think it's time. If you can make a move and if you want to make a move, it is time to start thinking about making a move, because not a lot of time left in this race.
Yeah, 40 laps remain here in Phoenix. So we bring out our trusty little weather tech data stuff.
Sadly with Celsius.
2019.
So
28 degrees Celsius, and the road degrees is 29 degrees Celsius, which means absolutely nothing to me because I'm American.
Yeah, next week it will be all good and right with the world, I promise.
It's all good, Marco. Haven't converted me yet to using metric system, even though I understand it better. Regardless, I believe he's starting to pull away from Gerhardt as Walsh is starting lapping of cars. But Downing and Toledo are side by side. Well, they're almost side by side. They're nose to tail, really.
Let's see a comparison here. Should be on your screen right now of the last 5 laps of Walsh and Ake.
Yeah, Ake with that tire save, he's actually starting to close down by 0.2 of a second. Walsh with those lap cars, though, that's the reason why he's starting to slow up.
I see this lap 143. Look at the lap cars.
Oh, lap cars.
Big effect.
A big dent in Ake's time. And now here, is that Ake ahead of Downing right there? That
Ake
is Ake.
Yes, right ahead of him, and I think Downing needs to, start closing in and making the move, because if he wants to go back and catch Walsh there, because otherwise it will be too late. So let's see if he can make a move or not, and of course if we stay green or not, because we still have plenty of battles in the midfield. And we have 11 cars still running out there. And just for a quick recap, we can show you that we have 3 cars on the lead lap, and then we have 4 cars 1 lap down, 1-5, 1-7, 1-9 and 1-13, and the retirees White, Aquesta, Bourdon, Berger and Ferroli.
Yeah, I believe White was White was the last car to bring out that caution, but here comes Downing, almost getting to the back end of Ike. He had to let off the gas a lot, letting him give some room. But we're looking back from the gearbox of Ike on to the front nose of Downing. Now we've seen Downing make a lot of movement. Oh, there's a dead cone in the middle of that corner.
F's out.
F's out for that cone. Hashtag cones life matter. Wonder where that cone came from.
Yeah, that's a very good question.
It's just sitting there in the middle of the track. I think it might have got caught under somebody's car, which might have been causing a bit of pace issues, which I would not be surprised, because that's happened to me more than once. They are cutting the dog leg very close, though.
Yeah, once again, here in comparison to other tracks, here when you clip the cones, it's automatically a slowdown. So you really need to cut it very, very. You have to be so precise, because if you take them down, it's very fun to take them down during the cautions, because it's okay. But during the race, you get a slowdown, and a slowdown on an oval.
Oh, here comes Downing. Here comes Downing. He made a move, going through there. Now he's going to follow the back end of Ike. Ike and Downing going so close, nose to Gearbox. Downing up onto the inside through the dog leg, through the very long corner. We saw this end up very nasty earlier on the race. Downing holding on to that inside. Ike holding on to the outside, side by side. Here they go. Downing has the inside line going into turn 1, and Downing keeps it there. Ike keeping room, and Downing takes P2, but Ike is not letting up that position. He might go for a switchback right here, and now these two guys are still side by side. Ike and Downing still doing it. Downing down onto the inside. Tyler not affecting him as much, but Ike now sits in 3rd place as Downing is in P2.
And now 15 laps for Downing to chase down Walsh, who is 3.2 seconds up the road. I think a caution is needed, or a mistake from Walsh, or you know, a lapped car getting in the way. Apologies. I think I accidentally removed the track map, so there it is back again. Very useful on the ovals, I have to say, and really gives you an idea.
It is very useful to show where in position where P1 and P2 are. P2 is the highlighted green dot. P1 is represented by the 1. It is showing the positions as there's our color-coded track map.
This is much better. Much more lively, you know?
It's pretty.
So, lap time comparison coming your way right now.
And Downing, he is closing in on Walsh. 1/10, 4/10 last lap, 3/10 the lap before that. Is he going to close in on this lap? Yes, only by a little slim. Now, Walsh is in. He is in a bit of traffic that Downing is closing up on. He's stuck behind Atornia, and Atornia has been very fast, but he's holding that inside line, which is very disastrous for your Walsh, but got let by going to that corner. But Downing 2/10 on Walsh. He's still behind by 2 seconds, though. And ahead of him, that is Show and Atornia, as these two are getting the blue flags for each other. Downing going for that outside line, gets past Atornia, and he's getting, oh man, that almost ended very badly.
But you know, I think Downing got them in a very, very good position.
That was grade A prime lapping for Downing right there. He's gonna lose a little bit of time.
You know what time it is right now?
It's nighttime with 10 laps to go.
And no friends to show.
We do have a little bit of friends with lap traffic, but Downing, 3/10. That was unassisted in that lapping.
And
Downing
more
is
lappers
gaining.
up the road.
Downing, yeah, no one is around Walsh. Walsh is going slow. Downing is gaining on Walsh in these final laps. And I think Walsh is struggling with tire wear and understeer as he almost gets into the wall just ahead, as that gap has dropped down to 1.7 seconds as Downing is getting 2/10 or more per lap.
Oh, almost identical lap times.
007. Well, as I say that, Walsh is starting to bring it back, but he's still losing out time to John Downing. Who's going to be standing on top? Will it be the Irishman or will it be the American for the first broadcasted strength of field race here on Apex Racing TV of Season 4?
Here come the lappers.
Well, this is where the game could be made with just 5 laps remaining. Walsh appearing on a few lap cars. He's holding on to that inside line going into turn 1. That's going to hurt his tires even more. They haven't gone to the pit lane, and they won't make the pit lane. I think there might have been a bit of wall hit right there.
0.3 of a second lost by by Walsh without the lapper, because the lapper came into play basically on the start-finish line. Let's see now, as both drivers had to take care of that lapped car. 0.2 of a second. He's there.
Downing. He's there. He's charging. He's underneath the second. Let's bring up that battle box between Walsh and Downing for P1. Downing has the lapped cars to his advantage. Walsh sees them ahead. I don't think he wants to go through them with just 3 laps remaining. We're going to go down to the wire between Walsh and Downing here on Apex Racing TV.
Man, it's getting closer and closer as we can see the traffic in front of Walsh. Of course, it's certainly a very delicate moment, as also the guys in front of him are fighting for position as well. Here we go. Oh, in the wall is Downing!
Oh, Downing! No, no, no! He was charging so hard, and now he's turned around on the front straight, and we're going to finish this race underneath a yellow flag as Ike takes back P2. Very unfortunate for Downing. He gets the understeer, ends up in the wall with 2 laps to go. Oh, that is so unfortunate. Walsh is probably thanking the gods right now. He was pushing his tires to the limits and, robbed of a great finish, I must say.
Yes, as the, I was getting all ready for the first Sarela Blanca of the season, but I will have to wait until next week, apparently, as the pace car is bunching them up just for this final turn 3 and 4, and Dave Walsh then will celebrate, I think, very, very loudly, because this is a great win for him.
Great win, great race to open out our NTT Indycar Strength of Field broadcasting, and oh my goodness, Walsh takes the win here at ISM.
And Downing is taking it to the pits because he knows he will not lose the lap, and I think he's afraid of getting a meatball flag, so he gets P3. And second place is for Andreas Eik, of course, but
we gotta spectate Walsh. He's gonna give us a show on the front straight. He's already sped up past the pit car. Is he gonna give us a straight? But big congrats to Walsh. He had it from the start of the race. He's not going to give us a show. Oh man, come on! You gotta burn the house down.
I will talk to him tomorrow, and we should have the race results, I think, on your screen right now.
Taking the win out of Ireland, Ocean Walsh winning a incredibly almost close race. Elk takes P2. John Downing, very unfortunate. He was charging for the win. He finished in P3. Thais Toledo, the Brazilian missile, finishes in P4. Great race by him. He's been making a lot of moves throughout the field. I can't wait to see more of him. David Medekowicz finishes in P5, followed by Laura Gerhardt. Luka Lajovitz show in 8th. Cody Meadows and Nick Atornia in 10th, who's followed by Campbell, White, Aquesta, Bourdain, Berger, and Farley, our Australian racer who unfortunately had that incident at the very start of the race. But what a big race we had, and I believe we might be having a few interviews. Are we trying to line that up?
Let's see the replay once again. Losing the car. Oh, that is so cruel. He was pushing very hard, but he crashed basically. Yeah, and he was on the front stretch basically, and but this is a very tricky track for that reason. And straight into the wall, and Andreas Eik coming through and seeing the big smoke, and you should see the flagman waving the caution flag, the lights hopefully all around the racetrack. Do we have lights around this racetrack? I think so. And
yes, there are lights around this track. They aren't the big giant stadium lights. They're just about 4 lights in a row, but they're all like by every section. So this is a very well lit track.
No, the caution lights because I
Oh, no. Well,
didn't see
yeah,
them.
there are.
I mean, there's the flagman, but there are no caution lights, I think, around here. Or I might be mistaken, because I'm looking at the side of the track and I don't see any of them. I might be wrong, but nevertheless, you know, Andreas Eek finally gets back into second place, and that is all she wrote for tonight's race. Let's see. Let's go back. First of all, let's go back live and see if we have anyone waiting for an interview. Sadly, no, but I'm sure that next week we will have plenty of them. So I think it's time for the final remarks here from Phoenix, Arizona, or I should say Avondale, Arizona, to be more precise. And Austin, what are your final words on tonight, and what can we expect for tomorrow, for next week?
I must say that today was a great race. Very green flag, wide open racing. Not as chaotic as a lot of people were originally going to think this race was. We had a few incidents. Strategy was definitely a big part, and pace was definitely there. It was action all the way to the very end. A little bit of lull in the middle, but that's IndyCar racing for you. But as we came up to the end, we were almost having that close, wide finish. Next week, we'll be in Sonoma, California for round. Wait, what week is it?
4.
Round 4. Round 4 of the iRacing IndyCar Open Series here on Apex.
We have an
Racing
interview!
TV. And we do have an interview, so let's bring in
Now, judging by the avatar, I think, judging by the picture, I think we should have Dave Walsh with us.
Oh, yeah, I should have. Sorry, I didn't change my name in the Discord.
You are lucky I'm the commentator, so... Well, I leave you in the hands of Austin for the interview then.
Man, Walsh, you had a great run. At the very start, you pretty much led it from the start, even though you started in P2. After you overtaken Ike for the lead, what was your strategy? Just push, or was there lift off coast a little bit?
There was one point where I thought I might have had to save a bit of fuel, but I didn't think I'd be able to manage that, so I just went back to pushing as hard as I could. Once I got past Andreas, he kind of dropped back a bit. I don't think he was really able to get within the slipstream or like close enough to me to actually make a move. When I was behind him, it was if he had clean air, it was really hard to get to the person in front of you. So I was kind of just waiting for traffic, and then finally I got past and just tried never to give up the lead again. So I didn't have to try and pass him again.
In the closing laps, you were coming up to a bunch of lap traffic, and the charging John Downey was closing into you by 2/10 per lap. What was going through your mind? Did you want to engage in the lap traffic, or did you just want to sit behind them?
Once I realized John was coming, I was pushing as hard as I could, going pretty crazy with the adjustments, trying to just make the car just go as fast as possible. I wanted to get past as many lap cars as possible and hope that they'd slow him down, so he wouldn't be able to get to them. And then hopefully I could get clean air so that if he was behind me, he hopefully wouldn't be able to get close enough to make a move like I was having with Andreas and he was having with me. And then, luckily enough for me, he spun out of the last corner with like 2 to go or something like that. So that just ended the race. But I hadn't really noticed how quick he was all race. He had been stuck behind Andreas, and then he was way quicker than me at the end.
Yeah, he just pretty much shot himself out of a rocket. I'm not sure. I believe he was saving his tires and everything for that ending burst because he just came out of nowhere. Anyone you want to shout out at the end?
TDR, Team Talent, Andreas. He actually made the set, so him, and then you guys for making this into an SOF race again and actually getting to go official.
Yeah, we finally got that. So next week we'll be going to Sonoma. Anything you want to say about that track? Anything you look forward to?
I quite like the track. I don't know if I've ever actually raced it in the IndyCar, but yeah, I'll give it a shot, see how it goes. Yeah, I don't really know what to expect. I'll just run it and see what happens.
All right. Well, thank you, Walsh, for that. Marco, anything you want to say to him?
Congratulations, and hopefully he will be back for the next few races, especially on the ovals.
Well, I think I'm quicker on road courses.
Oh, okay. Well,
Confidence.
I read something you said a few minutes ago about about next week. But if you are confident on the road courses as well, you are of course more than welcome to join us, and hopefully more people will get to know this slot, and more people joining us for this race, because tonight was fantastic fun. So thank you very much, Dave, and congratulations once again. Have a good night.
Thanks.
And thank you, everybody, for joining us here on Apex Racing TV for the NTT Indycar Open Series. For one last time, I've been joined by Marco Barbonera, who's been controlling the cameras. He's done an amazing job in all the graphics on the screen. And I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.
Okay, we should be good.